When Donald Trump Jr. divorced his ex-wife, he got into a new relationship with Kimberly Guilfoyle pretty much right away. The timeline was highly suspicious. Did Don Jr. cheat on his wife with Kimberly? And why does Kimberly seem so close with his ex-wife? Where is Vanessa Trump now? Let's break it down. If you've never heard the story of how Donald Jr. met Vanessa, it's insane. In 2003, Vanessa was attending a fashion show in New York when someone came up to her and introduced themselves. That someone was future President Trump, but Donald had someone else he wanted Vanessa to meet. It was his son, Don Jr. Years later, Vanessa and Don Jr. finally set the record straight in an interview. They both admitted standing there sharing an awkward conversation for a few minutes. Vanessa didn't think anything of it, but during the intermission at the fashion show, she saw Donald walking up to her again. Vanessa was shocked by Donald's brazen attitude, and also his apparently bad memory. She could not believe what Donald said to her the second time. He told Vanessa, "I don't think you've met my son Donald Trump Jr." What Vanessa did next is crazy. She had to remind Donald that she had just met his son Donald Jr. before the show began. Donald Jr. has also described what really happened that night. He was 25 years old at the time. According to Don Jr., he did perfectly well with girls, and it wasn't his MO to have his father try to pick up girls for him. Nothing came of their insane first meeting, but just over a month later, Don Jr. and Vanessa met again. They were at the same party in downtown Manhattan, and a mutual friend introduced them a third time. What happened next is shocking. Vanessa and Donald Jr. claimed they did not remember meeting at the fashion show, but they still talked for an hour during the party. Then suddenly, Vanessa and Don connected the dots, and they shockingly realized they had met before. Vanessa even recalled saying to her future husband that he was the one with the mentally challenged dad. But when Don Jr. later proposed to Vanessa, even Donald allegedly felt that Don Jr. pulled a stupid move. Trump associates with insider knowledge say that Don Jr. got Vanessa's $100,000 engagement ring for free. He arranged that tacky move by staging the proposal outside a jewelry store at a mall in New Jersey. Don Jr. also arranged a photo op of his engagement. At least Vanessa was used to being in front of cameras. She's an ex-model. She even dated Leonardo DiCaprio, and she was also seriously involved with the Saudi Arabian prince. But Vanessa said yes to Don Jr. They got married at Donald's Mar-a-Lago estate in 2005, and they have 5 kids together. But they got divorced in 2018, and the real truth about who ended it is shocking. Because the year before she divorced Don Jr., Vanessa inherited a massive fortune of around $62 million. Insiders with Trump family knowledge claim that Vanessa decided to divorce Don Jr. with her fairly large inheritance. It also makes sense that Vanessa's full-time job became stay-at-home mom. Vanessa is only active on Twitter, and she often posted about homeschooling her kids during COVID. But there's another side to Don and Vanessa's family life after their divorce, and what goes on behind the scenes will be crazy to you. Vanessa employs a PR person to represent her, and they finally set the record straight about how Vanessa and Don Jr. feel about each other now. Shockingly, Vanessa's rep said that she and Don Jr. share tremendous respect for one another, and when Don Jr. dumped a bunch of Christmas photos on Instagram in 2020, it was unbelievable to see Vanessa and the kids hanging out with Don Jr. and his new love Kimberly. When you see those weirdly happy family moments, it's hard to believe that an alleged affair between Don Jr. and Kimberly caused the marriage to break up after all. And there's more inside proof of a shocking friendship. You might not believe this, unless you saw the pictures taken at a very sad occasion last year. On July 20th, 2022, there was a funeral mass in New York on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. The mass was for Ivana Trump, Donald's first wife, who had passed away the week before. 400 people attended the church service, and hundreds of spectators gathered outside to watch what unfolded. Afterward, people talked about the speeches made in tribute to Ivana, especially by her children, Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka. The Trump family all sat together at the front of the church. Don Jr., his kids, Vanessa, and Kimberly all sat together, and that got people talking too. It was described as the blended American family, and as photos got published online of the sad-looking Trump family leaving the church after Ivana's service, people couldn't help but notice Vanessa and Kimberly walking out together. This wasn't the first time something like that happened though. Shockingly, Vanessa and Kimberly often hung out at the same events before Kimberly started dating Don Jr. There are plenty of photos of these two women appearing together. In June 2018, 9 months after Vanessa separated from Don, she blasted Trump critics on Twitter. While Vanessa was partly defending her soon-to-be ex-husband, she also spoke kindly about Kimberly. Vanessa said, "The lengths people will go to attack a woman simply because she's dating Don." Vanessa said that she and Don Jr. respect each other's decisions and privacy, and they were focusing on raising their great kids. It's great that Vanessa and Don Jr. have a good relationship as co-parents. Maybe Vanessa is glad that her friend Kimberly is dating Don Jr. now. Reportedly, Kimberly and Don Jr. secretly got engaged in the White House on New Year's Eve in 2020. But unfortunately, that wasn't the first time that Vanessa allegedly found out about a shocking secret that Don was keeping. In 2011, Don Jr. allegedly had an affair with a pop singer. Her name is Aubrey O'Day, and she appeared as a contestant on season 5 of Donald's crazy reality reality show, The Celebrity Apprentice. Don Jr. was an advisor during that season of the show, and show insiders with background knowledge claim that he began pursuing Aubrey and that he fell hard for her. Allegedly, Don Jr. told Aubrey that his marriage was already in the process of dissolving. Not only is that cruel and shocking, it also couldn't have been the real truth, especially because Vanessa was pregnant with their third child at this time. Aubrey also threw some major shade at Vanessa when she began spilling the tea about Don Jr.'s infidelity. She even told People magazine that she and Don Jr. considered each other soulmates. That crazy affair is another side of Don Jr. and Vanessa's breakup story, and it could explain Vanessa's reason for divorcing Don in 2018. Vanessa was understandably hurt and angry at what Don Jr. did to her and their family in 2011. Insiders claim that was the beginning of their downfall, and if one unbelievable rumor is true, I wonder why it took Vanessa so long to dump Don Jr. Allegedly, Vanessa discovered Don's affair with Aubrey in the most hurtful way. According to Trump insiders, Vanessa found Don Jr.'s cell phone, and she read filthy text messages that Don Jr. and Aubrey sent each other. Former President Trump has been accused of so many shocking infidelities, but even though he couldn't remember meeting Vanessa twice the first time she was introduced to Don Jr., Vanessa's ex-father-in-law still seems to be very fond of her. And when Donald found out about Don Jr.'s affair with Aubrey, it's shocking to learn Donald's reaction. He allegedly told Don Jr. to knock it off, and his father's urging convinced Don Jr. and Vanessa to do something crazy. In 2011, they vowed to stay together, and for 7 years. It worked pretty well. Vanessa even had 2 more kids, and she campaigned with Don Jr. during the 2016 presidential election. Donald's presidency was pretty insane, but it also affected Vanessa in a personal way that you will not believe. After Vanessa split from Don Jr. in March 2018, a crazy rumor began to float around the White House. It's alleged that 2 Secret Service agents stationed at the White House started inappropriate relationships with female members of the Trump family. One of the Trump women was Donald's second daughter, Tiffany, but the other woman was none other than Vanessa. While the agent who allegedly got close to Tiffany was reassigned by the Secret Service, the man who allegedly got close to Vanessa did not face any backlash. That's because Vanessa and Don Jr. were no longer married, so the Secret Service agent was no longer her official guardian. Another crazy report in March 2018 set the record straight on exactly how Donald feels about Vanessa. Sources claim that Donald once again tried to save Don Jr. and Vanessa's marriage. A Trump insider even claimed that Donald was using his so-called deal-making skills to get Vanessa to stay married to Don Jr. And when Vanessa still filed for divorce, a shocking report from the White House claimed that Donald was upset that he had failed as a marriage counselor. It's never ideal when a marriage breaks up, especially when kids are involved, but at least Don Jr., Vanessa, and Kimberly seem to get along great, and the kids look like they've been doing okay, so maybe it all worked out for the best. But what do you guys think? What do you think about Vanessa's marriage to Don Jr.? Do you think that Vanessa and Kimberly are friends? Let me know in the comments below.